everybody. It's Allie, and welcome to our Y&R Chat for Sunday, August 4th, 2024. Okay, so which was the bigger shocker of the week? Dead and bloody Cameron Kirsten appearing in Sharon's living room, or Nikki's side-swept hairdo on Friday? I vote hair! I could not believe my eyes when Nikki stepped onto my screen on Friday, or she was sitting at the table with Victor, and all that crimped hair blown over to the side. I'm assuming it was a hair comb used to keep it all in place, as I am using today to recreate my own version of the look. OMG, it was seamless. Nikki looked like she just stepped out of a wind tunnel, but one side of a wind machine on her head, and the other side was just perfect crimped hair. It was fabulous. It was kind of retro. It was like straight out of the 80s, but very fresh. Yes! Nikki looks like a woman who is ready for a hostile takeover! Yay! I love that Nikki and Victor are working together on this little project. Nikki and Victor are planning a takeover, and Billy is planning a party. I think that seems very appropriate, very typical. Oh. Yeah, Victor called Devon to his office this week to low-key alert him that Lily needs to get out of Chancellor ASAP before Billy ends up taking them both down. And just based on the conversation, Devon knew that meant Victor's up to something. Victor doesn't summon you to his office for no reason. So, of course, Devon was going to go and run back to Lily and tell her everything. And, of course, Lily was going to run back to Billy and tell him everything. And apparently, that's exactly what Victor wanted. But I don't understand why. Why would Victor want Billy to have a heads up? Why would Victor want Billy to have a fighting chance? Does Victor just like to play with his food before he eats it? It's like a cat batting around the mouse before he eats it? Oh no. Billy. He's going to have it coming from both ends because, interestingly, Lily confessed to Devon this week that she is also secretly playing Billy, but she's actually doing a better job of hiding it. She's trying to hide it from him, letting him think she's on his side, but really she's not. She says that she is just there trying to keep Billy happy and placated so that he doesn't ruin the company. But I don't buy it. I think Lily is exactly where she wants to be with whom she wants to be. And I think that her connection with Billy will be more solidified as they fight side by side to keep Victor from snatching up Chancellor or Chancellor Abbott or whatever you want to call it. They're going to bond, I think, while trying to keep Victor from snatching up all of that cool Abbott Chancellor swag, all those t-shirts and hats and mugs. Connor's coming home! Yay! Connor! I hope we see him. I actually hope we see him in Genoa City next week. That is quite a revelation for the week. Just like that. The doctor said, all right, we accomplished our goal. You guys slept together. Mission accomplished. So we're sending the kid back to you just in time for your screwy situation to reach peak screwy. Welcome home, Connor. I can just see it now. Mom, Dad, I'm so happy to be home. Why are you two seeming so shifty? Is there something going on with you that I don't know about? Boy, I feel guilty. I'm sure glad that you guys had Billy and Sally there to comfort you while I was going through my trouble. Do you think you guys will get married anytime soon? And Connor coming home on top of all of this is just the cherry on the big messy cake. And it really was messy this week too, because Billy very much put the screws to Adam and Chelsea. He was completely unfocused on the fact that Connor's coming home. This is great news. Let's all be happy. And instead he was raining on the parade, really. He was saying that he wants to get to the bottom of all of these suspicious looks that Adam and Chelsea keep giving each other. What's up with that? It was like unnecessary, borderline unnecessary. He really dug in deep. It was like an inquisition. And if we didn't know that Billy's right, that Adam and Chelsea are hiding something and something more is going on, I mean, Billy really would have looked like a jerk. But the fact that Chelsea, in an effort to reassure Billy, told him that she just wants to move on and put all of the past mistakes behind her. Ding, 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 ding. Wee, wee, wee. And then she plants this big passionate kiss on him out of nowhere after realizing that she had kind of put her foot in her mouth. Well, that just raised Billy's suspicions even more. And Sally agrees. I think there's something going on between these two. Nobody disparages the good name of Jabot Cosmetics and gets away with it. Wow. Wow. Kyle was getting lippy with Jack, talking about how Jabot is just a dusty old dinosaur. And Jack turned red. It was phenomenal. Jack said, "How dare you? My father built this company with standards and integrity, and your little ragtag group of lipstick peddlers can't hold a candle to our excellence." I'm paraphrasing. But I loved that moment, and I was glad to see Jack fighting for the things that are important to him. Last week, actually, Nikki was questioning Diane's integrity, and Jack went off on her, and this week he defended Jabot with just as much ferocity. It's getting nasty. It's really nasty. It's a nasty time to be an Abbott. Kyle has got 2 battles on his hands right now. One with Mom and Dad, and one with Summer. And Summer is not backing down. She is listening to one person's advice and one person only, and that's Phyllis, and it's because Phyllis is telling her everything she wants to hear. Daniel tried giving her a little bit of a different perspective this week, and Summer just ended up walking out on him. He was being like way too reasonable for her taste. She didn't want to hear it. And I think it was nice to see Daniel arguing for peace. Daniel himself is the product of a child custody nightmare that resulted in him being taken away from one of his parents for years and years and years. And now, yes, it was probably for the best in his case, but every kid is still going to want their parent, even if they have a bad parent. They're still going to want their parent. And Kyle isn't a bad parent, and I liked that Daniel brought that up. And again, Summer just wasn't having it. In the previews for next week, Kyle is coming home from Paris early because of whatever's going on with Harrison in these previews. Some kind of crisis. Oh no, it's a crisis with Harrison. Will it bring Summer and Kyle closer together is the question, or will it only escalate the fight? Summer did have chance to help her blow off some steam this week in a hotel room. But I don't know, I kind of feel like Summer and Chance are losing steam. They were so cute at first and so fun, and he seemed to have this lightning effect on her. And that's just not working anymore. The occasional romp in a room upstairs is not working for me anymore. I need Chance to get in there and actually challenge Summer's thought process. Because Summer thinks that she is doing everything completely right. She thinks she's completely right and completely justified. And I'm with Summer most of the way. But she's also not even listening to anybody else, and I think that's a very dangerous place for her to be in. She has become single-minded and obsessed, and I don't know, I think Chance should be the person to get in there and try to turn her sourpuss around. I really appreciated the 2 scenes between Sharon and Daniel this week. Because yes, Daniel was involved in Cassie's death, but Daniel was also someone who knew Cassie. And right now Sharon is just wishing that she could keep Cassie's memory alive. So it's interesting to see those two come together after so much time has gone by. I mean, they've really had so very few scenes together ever. And now here we are all this time later, and they're really talking. They are really talking. Daniel even went to Sharon's house this week, and I don't know about Daniel's game idea. I don't think it came off the way he intended. I think Daniel's heart was in the right place, absolutely. But it just seemed to be a very awkward proposal, like, hi, just stopping by to see if you want me to develop a game to help you connect with your dead daughter. By the way, I'm available for hire. I don't know about that. But I'm thinking that that part of the story is probably more about connecting Daniel and Mariah and Tessa. Because Sharon told Daniel that Mariah would be the one to pitch the idea to, since she's taking over Cassidy first. And I'm sure that Mariah will say yes to a game on this topic, and Cassidy versus a technology company. And Mariah's feeling really guilty right now simply for being Cassie's twin and being a reminder of Cassie in Sharon's life all the time. And there's the fact that Daniel and Tessa have had a few scenes together lately. So who knows what direction that is headed? I don't know. Yeah, Daniel's got a job ahead of him, as if parenting is not enough of a job, because what's going on with Lucy, oh my goodness. I mean, first of all, I have to say, I have never been so relieved to be wrong about a storyline prediction with the pool party and the alcohol and the older kids, because Lucy seemed doomed to follow in Cassie's footsteps over that pool party. But then when she and Daniel sat down to talk about it, I realized, oh yeah, okay, this is 2024. Lucy just looked up what happened with Cassie's death on the internet and processed that her dad, how her dad was involved. And I don't know, maybe that impacted her decision making a little bit, because Lucy didn't decide to go crash the party and drink alcohol or do something rash anyway after Faith uninvited her. But then again, she didn't do anything reckless this week, but we have the previews for next week, and it seems like maybe Lucy's gotten her hands on some alcohol, and that makes my little mom heart scream out, no! Lucy ditched her dad on this concert that they had both been looking forward to going to together, and she did it in an icky way. She made it sound like Daniel couldn't go last minute, and she invited Faith instead, which was kind of heartbreaking, to be honest, because it was like, dad out, shiny new friend in. Daniel went along with it, but he did give Lucy a warning, and what he said to her was, you might not get what you're looking for when it comes to Faith, because when you're hanging out with older kids, there's always going to be a point where you're on the outside looking in. And I just kind of wonder if he nailed it right there, because I wonder if Lucy's plan is to try to get in by acting older than she is. Because, okay, in these previews, we get to this concert, which, side note, is there any chance that this is the Chancellor Winters concert? No, it seemed like it wasn't related, but darn. Hey, maybe we're gonna get a concert. It looked like a different set. They're filming somewhere outside in a studio or something. But in the previews, we get to the concert, and Faith is scolding Lucy, saying, "Where did you get the alcohol, and how much of it have you had?" I don't know. Lucy, what is she doing? Did she sneak in a bottle of alcohol in her purse or something? Why would she do that, knowing that Faith has said that she doesn't drink? I don't know. I really hope it's a fake out, and maybe Faith is just being preemptive, but probably not. Probably not. And it just breaks my heart. I love Lucy. I really love the character of Lucy, and I'm scared that my sweet Lucy may be doomed to following Cassie's footsteps anyway, just on a different path. I have been thinking about Sharon all week. Even when I'm not watching the show, I have been thinking about Sharon. It's just, I realize that Sharon is someone who has suffered a lot of loss. And this week, Mariah said exactly what I was thinking. Sharon lost her daughter. She lost her husband, both in tragic accidents. Nick cheated on her while she was mourning the loss of her daughter. She was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. She got cancer and survived it. She got Cameron Kirsten and survived it. And any one of those things would have been enough to break most people in reality. But this is not reality. And Sharon is still standing, she's still standing. And yeah, the house is a mess, because that reflects what's going on the inside. And yeah, she started this new business named after Cassie, but it's kind of a cold comfort because, first of all, she got it, from Cameron Kirsten. And it just is, in a way, it's like, it's this shell of a memory of Cassie. It's cold comfort. She's thinking of Cassie. She's hearing Cassie calling out, Mom. Which again, that just really speaks to me, because has anyone ever had that happen? Because I have. Like, there have been very few nights where my daughter has been away from me. But there was one night where she was away from me, and she wasn't in the house, and it was nighttime, and I could have sworn that I heard her calling out Mom. I mean, it was vivid. And also one time as an adult, I woke up from a dream and clear as day could hear my mom calling my name. Exactly. Ringing in my ears. This was my mom in my head. So that resonates with me. I knew it wasn't real. I knew it wasn't real. It couldn't have been. And Sharon knows that all of this isn't real too. But yet she has this cognitive awareness about what's going on with her, which also feels very real. Like being able to see outside of yourself even when you know that you're deluding yourself. She's having these fantasies about Nick coming back to her. I guess you could say that it's Nick rescuing her. But really, I think it's just that Nick is the only person who can really understand what she's feeling right now, because Cassie was their daughter. They lived through the tragedy of her death. They both dealt with it in different ways. But I think Sharon is just wishing that in some way, somehow, there could be a do-over. Faith and Mariah and Nick showed up at the house this week, and they expressed their concerns to Sharon, and she revealed that she's not even taking her medication anymore, and that makes sense now. She said that she didn't like how the medication was making her feel, and actually that going off of them made her feel more. Like she had realized that the medication had been making her numb, and she feels like she never properly grieved all of these tragedies that have happened to her. She's just kind of been redirecting the energy, which is what you do, but she just feels like she didn't get a chance to really work through it. And she told them that, yes, she's planning on calling her doctor, and yes, she's planning on, getting back on the medication, but she's also planning a getaway. She's planning a getaway, a vacay, a little meditation, a little yoga, a little retreat, just to process it all, just to reflect, just to ruminate. Like, what was that in my life? I'm going to sit here and meditate on this for a while. And then, she seemed like she had it together. She seemed like she knew exactly what she wanted to do. Like she was ready to make this progress. And then, lo and behold, another apparition shows up. And this time it's not a friendly one. It's Cameron Kirsten. All bloody and ragged and probably reeking like the sewer that he died in. She tried to send him away. In fact, she had this great moment of like closing her eyes and saying, I know that this is in my head. I know that I have the power to stop it, and I'm going to. When I open my eyes, you're going to be gone. And she opened her eyes, and he was still there. He didn't budge. He was just there, taunting her. Also making the good point that he's been brought there by her, and seeming to kind of offer her a puzzle that she's going to need to piece together to figure out why he's there. I don't know, but I am enjoying this, actually. I love to hate Cameron Kirsten. I think that the actor is really magnetic, and their scenes together are just so nasty. Like the way he's breathing up on her and hitting on her. It's gross, but it's fascinating to watch. And I can't say where it's all going. I just don't know, but I have a feeling that in some way, somehow, when Sharon gets to the end of this path that she is on, I just have a feeling that Nick is going to be standing there waiting for her with open arms, maybe even at the altar. My paranoia knows no limits. I don't know, I thought that was kind of a fun little moment. It was Billy who said it to Lily. He was talking about his very suspicious mind. Come on, my paranoia knows no limits. That was a hard one, so I have to give extra big shout outs to Paris, Henry, Daisy, Justin, and David D. You guys got it. How about this quote from the week? Who said this? The game is on. Let the excitement begin. The game is on. Let the excitement begin. Okay, if you think you know, you should go to yrchat.com to leave your guess. And if you get it right, I will give you your shout out during next week's Y&R Chat. Guys, it's birthday week in Y&R Chatland. We have got 4 birthdays. What is up with this? Y&R fans are apparently born in the first week of August. If you can believe it. Well, first of all, 2 birthdays on August 6th. Happy birthday to Sherrod and Brittany. Oh my gosh, you guys were born on the same day? Are you twins and you just don't know it? I mean, because really, 2 Y&R fans born on the same day. 2 Y&R Chat fans born on the same day. You come together, you know, like weird. My theory is that you're twins. But which one's the evil one and which one's the good one? Sherrod and Brittany, you should leave me a comment this week and let me know which one you think you are. Oh my goodness. And then the following day on August 7th is Lara. Lara, I love your comments. Where are you? I haven't heard from you lately. I hope you're out there having a beautiful summer, and I hope you have a beautiful birthday. And then last but not least, Henry, my friend, happy birthday on August 9th. Wow. I hope you also are having a big, wonderful celebration. Let me know what you guys are doing for your birthdays. And let's see. Let's start with Henry's comment, actually. Following up from a question I asked you guys last week, Henry says, Allie, when viewing the live show on CBS, they do still do the halfway spot commercial, The Young and the Restless Will Continue, that I asked about last week. Yeah, and I think, I want to say Sherrod also said that the live broadcast still has the Young and the Restless Will Continue at the halfway point. So that's interesting. Maybe they just removed it from Paramount Plus, because that's where I watch now, and it is absolutely not there. And it only went away maybe a month ago, and I just thought, oh, I wonder if they're getting rid of it altogether, which would be kind of sad, because they do a special card, like with special picture. And I guess maybe Paramount Plus, they remove it because it seems like it's a commercial or something, or it's commercial related. So maybe they just want to get you your show, which honestly I appreciate. I do appreciate just getting that compact version of Y&R. But it got me to thinking, we might have done a poll like this before, but I'm kind of curious to know how you guys are watching Y&R right now. Why don't we go ahead and do a little testy test poll on that this week? How are you watching the show currently? Do you watch the live broadcast? Or do you record it, record the live broadcast with your DVD? Do you, or DVR, it's called DVR, I think, whatever, maybe through your cable company. Or do you do CBS.com? Do you do Paramount Plus? I'm really curious to know. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's something else. Maybe you torrent it. I don't know. How are you watching the show right now? Go to YRChat.com and cast your vote. And I'm just curious to know how Y&R Chat fans are actually getting their Y&R lately. Let's talk about summer. Naomi says, summer is exasperating. Sorry, exasperating. She has reverted back to flipping her hair and making snotty remarks when Daniel tells her the truth. Harrison is unlucky to have two parents that have reverted to spoiled brats. Tara could return and be the only adult in the room. The only adult in the courtroom. We know for sure we're not getting a courtroom out of this. But yeah, Tara's return, really. As a matter of fact, you know what? T. Nicole says, I have a question. If Summer legally adopted Harrison and is now considered his mom, if Tara did come back, would the biological mom get any rights to Harrison or not because Summer is in the courts and has legally adopted him? Or would Tara just have to prove that she's stable and can provide Harrison a healthy environment to grow up in the world's, and would the courts reverse Summer's legal adoption and give it back to the biological mother? I know in Soapland anything can happen, and honestly, Victor could get custody of Harrison if he wanted to. Yeah, T. Nicole. I mean, that's a good question. Because, what rights would Tara have? I guess I imagine that in reality, which again, we know it's not, but I would imagine that a judge would try to work towards some kind of shared, at least visitation for all. I mean, what did Tara do that was so bad, that would prove that she was an unfit parent? I mean, as far as I can remember, she went to jail for embezzlement, which doesn't hardly seem like it's something that should impede her from having the rights to her son, especially after she served her time. So I don't know. Well, Victoria says, well, Diane was right that her and Jack's plans for letting go and not engaging didn't work. Diane started the ball rolling. She was so annoyed and snarky with Kyle, and Kyle is so insufferable. I don't blame Jack for laying into him. I think both Kyle and Audra were taken aback. It does seem unrealistic that Audra and Kyle's fledgling company, even with Victor money, can outdo Jabot, especially if Kyle spends most of his time arguing with his family and Audra. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, Kyle, really? You think that you're going to just DC Jabot on the cosmetic shelves in 1 year just because? No, I mean, Jabot's been around for decades. It seems like a little bit of a pipe dream, but then again, I don't know. Kyle's got a vendetta, and that can take you pretty far. Oh, Sherrod says, Claire, the manipulator. First, she uses her technique on her little sister, Katie. Then she tried to use the painting on Summer. This girl is still using the skills that her Aunt Jordan taught her. Don't let the sugary charm fool you. In the South, we have this saying of bless your heart, but the meaning is far from it. That's Claire. Don't take her at face value. Let's not forget she is capable of deception. And by the way, I clearly remember Claire was flirting with Nate by the elevators at Newman, yet she claims to know nothing about the matters of attraction. Liar! Lies! All lies! God, I hope so. Because that would be a fun twist. And oh, I love that point about her flirting with Nate. Yeah, she was getting ready to take Victoria's boyfriend away from her. Good point. And oh my gosh, bless your heart. we say that in my family too, or my grandma would say that. She was more from like Southern Illinois, but we got the bless your heart, which is sort of like, oh, you poor idiot. Bless your heart means, oh, you poor idiot. Oh boy. Hey, by the way, where is Aunt Jordan? She went to jail, and we haven't seen anything from her. I find it hard to believe that that's the last of her. She's such a super villain. I would have thought that she would have come back, and maybe she will. Oh, Connie says, today's theme was awkward times in Genoa City. Claire had awkward conversations with her mother not to call Summer when her father, with her father, that she's not ready for collegiate classes. The Abbotts have an awkward fight in public. Audra and Kyle awkwardly discuss revenge as a bad motivation for success. The awkward discussion for the couples in the coffee shop. Adam and Chelsea's awkward conversation on what should have been a happy ride to get Connor. I'm glad that's over because I am beyond happy that Connor is coming home. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I loved that conversation with Cole too, by the way. I liked, I did like that Victoria right away wanted to call Summer and fix the situation for Claire, but I really loved when Cole said, okay, well, so maybe the situation with Summer and Kyle is some hot water. Why don't you just quit? Why don't you just go back to school? It just seemed so very, I don't know, logical. But yes, awkward. And Dolores says, yes, hooray, that Connor is finally coming home. My misgivings regarding that clinic/hospital was put to rest when the doctor called to say Connor could come home and continue with outpatient treatments. But boy, oh boy, I hope that it's not the beginning of a setback for him and his parents, because the manure is about to hit the fan. The truth of the last time in Baltimore is hovering and about to blow up. Oh, you better believe it's going to cause a setback for Connor. There's no way he's not going to cue into this. I think this is going to be a big old mess waiting to happen, and I think Connor's going to blame himself. He's going to be like, oh, it's all my fault, and that's going to create a setback for him. So it's like, yay, good. Connor's doing better, but I don't know. You never know, though. Connor could have a great week. Connor could surpass the wisdom of his parents at this point and just, I don't know, somehow make it all okay. You never know. Well, Diana says, I find it a little far-fetched that Billy and Sally have made the leap, that there must be more to the story regarding Adam and Chelsea's trip to Baltimore. It seems believable that Chelsea was upset and crying with all that's going on with Connor. That reason seems like enough for her to be acting so emotional. Adam added his story of treating Chelsea badly, which also would have been a viable and believable reason for Chelsea to be going through turmoil. I feel like it isn't very realistic that somehow Billy and Sally are so convinced that there must be more to the story. I'm not sure how other chatters feel. Diana, I totally agree with you. And I've been kind of in the back of my mind thinking the same thing. Like, why are they so convinced that something's going on? I feel like Chelsea going through what Chelsea's going through is believable. And Adam's cover story about him taking it out on Chelsea was believable. So I completely agree. I don't know why they've jumped to the conclusion that something's more going on and they're just so darn sure of it. Plot is the reason for that. Well, Sharon W. says, Wednesday, I loved the scene with Victor, Nick, and Devon. And also the scenes today between Nick and Victor. While talking to Devon, Victor spoke slowly and let Devon draw his own conclusions that Victor would be the party that would come in and scoop up the failing Chancellor after Billy runs it into the ground. Victor assured Devon that he does not intend for Lily to be harmed, so he asked or advised Devon to make Lily aware of this impending doom. Nick tells his dad that this is one of the most complex plans and that Lily will most likely go straight to Billy, with Victor sharp-witted and sly smile, my favorite. Victor agrees with Nick that that's likely what Victor would like to see happen. Yeah, I enjoyed that scene too. It was like when Devon knocked on the door, it was like, oh, we don't normally see him here. It was kind of nice to have a little talk between the three guys. And I thought it was kind of a cute moment too when Nick gave Devon a hug and welcomed him to the family. And Devon goes, I finally have a brother. Aww, that was sweet. But the turmoil is right around the corner, and you know that Devon and Abby are going to be caught in the middle of it. Last week I asked you guys who you think should own Chancellor. And by the way, did you like the picture of Catherine that I put up on that poll? It was really great. It's like, who should own Chancellor? And then it had Catherine kind of with doing her inquisitive finger to the mouth look. I was proud of that. It made me proud. But I'm kind of surprised 53% of you think it should stay in Jill's hands. 47% voted to give it to Nikki and Victor. But I like this from Connie. Connie reminds us that Catherine Chancellor left that business to Victor and he sold it to Jill. Therefore, the company belongs to Jill. I mean, it's true. Yeah, it is true. But Sharon says, I think that Chance and Devon should own Chancellor Industries. They are the true heirs as well as Tucker. You know, that is true. Like, Chance is the only Chancellor, and he's got so little to do. He had a scene with Billy this week, and it was such a nothing burger. Like, I mean, there just nothing came to it. It was just them talking boring business talk. Chance has absolutely nothing going on right now. And Sherrod, you mentioned you think Chance and Devon should own it. Yeah, I mean, what am I talking about? No, I mean, Devon's not a chancellor in name, but he is Catherine's biological grandson. So, I mean, yeah, Chance and Devon should own the company, Sherrod. You're 100% right. And you mentioned somewhere else on the website, too, that Chance is on recurring status now. Connor Floyd is on recurring status. So what can you tell me about that? I'm curious. Did he go off and find other work, or why has Y&R reduced Chance? But it makes sense because, I mean, his involvement in the company storylines and in the relationship with Summer is just almost non-existent now. Oh, Daisy says, even though I would like to see Nikki in charge of Chancellors, I think it would be a great twist if Lily has her own plan, which neither Billy nor Devon know about. And that plan is for her to buy the majority shares of Chancellors from Jill. Lily would then be in charge and in control of the company, present and future, without interference from anyone. Devon would be so proud. I think that would be an amazing turn of events. Yeah, Daisy, it's like Lily's the one who's been in the trenches doing the work since the beginning. Yeah, that would be great if she had her own takeover plan. I love that idea. Okay. Connie says, Dear Nick, Faith, and Mariah, why would any of you trust a bipolar patient that knowingly went off their meds and reports having hallucinations to go alone to a doctor's appointment or to plan to go on a trip alone? Just saying. My mother wouldn't be unsupervised until the doctor told me that she was stable. If she asked for privacy, my response would be, no, ma'am, I love you too much to let you go through this alone. This will not end well for Sharon. Connie, that's such a good point that I didn't even think of. Like, sure, it's a good idea for you to go off alone right now on your soul sojourn. Sure, Sharon, go ahead. I was like, oh, wow, that retreat sounds like such a nice place. But yeah, bad idea. And Gary says, Sharon, you are a complex woman. You know to take your meds, but you're not going to do it. Or maybe you will. Nick thinks you will. You know, Gary, that is the question. Will Sharon really take her meds? Will she really get back on her meds? Because she said that she would, and we heard her talking on the phone to the doctor, right? But I don't know. I mean, I was kind of thinking, is she really going to call the doctor? Is she really going to get back on? Because there was something about Sharon's reassurance to Nick and Mariah and Faith that almost seemed too assured. Like, she too much knew what she was doing, and we knew that she was seeing Cameron Kirsten at that point. So I was thinking, like, I don't know, is this really gonna happen, or is Sharon just fooling everybody and she's gonna do her own thing? Which is a possibility still. Well, Robin says, I just can't get into Lucy. She looks too old to me, not 14. Katie looks age appropriate. Why doesn't she latch onto Katie, who is her age? Oh, that's interesting. And Sue W. says, I agree. I don't buy the 14-year-old Lucy. There's too much awkward effort to convince the audience of such. In my opinion, the actress is uber talented, but limited by scripts that paint a character not matching her presence. Wow, I'm totally oblivious to this. It didn't occur to me that Lucy doesn't come off as 14 years old, or that as Sue W. says that the character doesn't match the actress's presence. Oh, I've bought it completely, hook, line, and sinker. I'd love to hear from you guys, from anybody else this week, if they have that opinion of Lucy, if you think she's just seeming too old or just doesn't seem right for the part. Wow. I don't know, I just fell in love with her. I don't know why. And you're probably right if I put my mind to it. She probably doesn't really look 14, but I sure just didn't think about it. If anybody else feels that way, let me know this week. I'm curious. Final comment comes from Connie, who says, who else is excited that Josh Morrow's son debuted on The Bold and the Beautiful? Crew Morrow has his dad's smile, and I wonder if there will be a crossover story that connects the two shows. I had no idea about this, Connie. Thank you so much for posting this, because I immediately had to Google Crew Morrow, and he does look so much like Josh Morrow, Nick. Wow! And he's on Bold and the Beautiful. It's just so crazy to me. Like, wow, he's playing Will Spencer, so Katie and Bill's son, who was just a little tot last time I saw him. And wow, it's just the new generation is coming up. I can hardly believe it, because I was watching Y&R when Josh Morrow debuted on the show, and now what? He was like this fresh-faced teen, and now his son is taking on an adult role on The Bold and the Beautiful. Wow, that makes me feel old. The other thing that makes me feel old is now transitioning to the part of life where I have conversations about my health and my aches and pains. I feel like so embarrassed that I wasn't able to do the Y&R Chat last week. And I was just so down. Like, the pain really was very real, and it was just so uncomfortable, but I normally just power through. Kind of the challenge with Y&R Chat is that I'm recording a podcast and a video at the same time, so I have to have the microphone as close as possible to my mouth, but the camera needs to be a little further away, and I've got this hip issue that I've been dealing with for 4 years now that connects into the neck issue. I'm sure it's postural. And I've got like this crammed in little space where I've got the microphone up close to my mouth. I got a table in front of me. I'll paint you the picture. Table in front of me, microphone as close as possible, camera behind it, light on top of it, and everything has to be like, I have had a tendency to like spread my legs and bring everything in as close as possible, and it makes the hip issue worse. My head has to be exactly looking into where the camera is, or it makes my neck issue worse. And a lot of times, and I think I was in a position too where it restricts my breathing, but I'm trying to capture the video and the audio in the best quality I can, and it just exacerbates an already, their condition that I've been dealing with. And I just was so down last week, and I'm like, why did I even say anything? But then I realized that it's good that I said it out loud, because then that can help me fix it. I need to stop powering through when something is painful, and I just need to fix it. And so this week I bought a new tripod for the camera, which is a huge upgrade because my previous tripod only had like 2 settings. So it had to be at one height or another, and that meant that my head, my neck, I had to go wherever the camera is, not where is comfortable for me. So the new tripod has multiple ways that it can be adjusted so that I can get into the position that I'm comfortable in and then set the camera to where I am, not the other way around. I also switched out my chair. Maybe you can see it behind me. This chair actually has a back on it. My other chair it was backless, and I mean, really peeling away the curtain here. Like, I couldn't get comfortable in this chair for the past year or 2. I had a paper towel during Y&R Chat. Every Y&R Chat, I had a paper towel roll, like a roll of paper towels that I would jam behind my back to try to give my back some kind of support. And it's like, Allie, why are you doing this? Like, actually saying it out loud last week, I thought to myself, why are you doing this? Why don't you just get a different chair? And it honestly never occurred to me. It's like, you just get stuck in the way that you do things, and you just keep adjusting, and or keep not adjusting in this case. So anyway, I got a new chair. I got a new tripod. Saying it out loud forced me to change something, so I'm glad that I did that. But on the flip side of it, I don't know what the quality of any of this is going to be, because also it all has to be further away from me. I have to have my hips in a normal sitting position. I have to be physically comfortable. So the camera's further away but zoomed in, which usually causes bounciness. So hopefully the video is okay enough, but I mean, you may be getting, it may blur a little bit, but it's just gonna have to be that, because I have to sit comfortably. And then the microphone is further away, which creates more echo on the recording. So again, all of this was because I wanted the quality to be good. But yeah, I think that I think the camera is livable, and the audio, I'm better at editing the actual sound quality now in post. So hopefully some of the echo and stuff I can pull out. But if this the long way of saying, if this quality is not great, I will continue to tweak. I'm going to try to find a middle ground between my comfort and, you know, the good quality of both recordings. So that's that update. And I'm not gonna go on about it anymore. I'm just gonna try. I'm trying to get myself into a comfortable position so that my chat is much more fun and relaxed. You know, so I can really get some good chatting done. That's the plan. Okay. So I've said what I needed to say. And now it is your turn to say what you need to say. You should go to yrchat.com to leave your comments and you know, about the show. Go look at that Catherine. If you haven't seen the Catherine photo, you just need to see Catherine this week. So go to the website, look at that. I'm also happy, by the way, that the chair that I have right now has arms on it. And like the other chair didn't have any place to like rest my elbows, so I actually do kind of feel more able to comfortably chat. There's a place for my elbows to be here. That's kind of nice. It feels like an upgrade. And thanks to everybody, by the way, too, who you know, inquired about what was going on. And I'm sorry if I worried anybody. It was a bad day. But today is a much better day, and I do have plenty of good days to be grateful for. Grateful for Y&R, grateful for Y&R Chat, grateful for you, and I will see you next Sunday for another wonderful Y&R Chat. Happy birthday to all the birthdays. I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Bye. Yeah. I'm definitely a little more comfortable here. You can see more of the bottom shelf, so I'll have to clear all that stuff out. But yeah, this is a lot more comfortable. I mean, don't I look better? Don't I look freer to chat?